Okay.
We're back with this special edition of Amador Live. I'm your host, Keith Sweet, and we have two guests on this particular segment. Guest Lucy Hackett. Good morning, Lucy.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. I should have worn my 49er outfit for this segment. And we also have Mayor Pat Crew.
Morning, Keith.
Pat, you wear a number of hats. We'll start with you. You're the president of the Amador Community Foundation. You're
yes,
the
president
I am. Of the Fair Board Foundation.
The Fair Foundation.
The Fair Foundation.
Yeah, that's a confuse. The Fair Board are appointed by the governor and actually run the fair.
Right. All of our guests this morning have been here with talking about things that you can, our viewers can participate in, volunteer for, donate to. They're all involved in many things. We're only talking with each of our guests of one or two things that they're involved with, and I know that every one of them is actively involved in a number of things, as Lucy is. Before I get to you two guys, I do want to mention, this all started with my sending TSPN a flyer on the wine and cheese tasting that the Amador County Historical Society is having on September 18th up at the museum. Tickets are $15, and you can contact the TSPN if you would like to come and participate, or just show up and bring your check and enjoy an evening from 6 to 8 on September 18th.
What a great setting.
Yes.
From the grand opening. This is kind of a recreation of the grand opening wine.
This is a recreation of the grand opening that we had in June of 2013.
That was great.
Yeah. Again, staffed by volunteers every weekend, as many other things are. But we kind of timed this accidentally, coincidentally, with some activities that you guys are involved with that particular weekend. Lucy, tell us a little bit about what's coming up.
Our Days of 49 girl.
Right. The Carson Mountain Men wagon train. This will be the second year of its rebirth. Obviously, the Mountain Men have been doing wagon trains for a really long time. I'm not quite sure when they started doing them. There are wagon trains that run on Highway 50, and they used to come down Highway 88. But in this last couple years, the wagon train has kind of been reborn as an Amador County tour. So it starts at Plymouth. It's going to start this year on September 17th, and it runs from Cooper Vineyards to the fairgrounds, then from the fairgrounds through Amador City and Sutter Creek to spend the night up on Ridge Road at the Oneto Ranch. On Saturday the 19th, it'll run from Ridge Road through the back hills into Jackson for a trip around Jackson Main Street, and then spend the night at Kennedy Mine Amphitheater, where there'll be a Gold Rush variety show. And then the wagon train will be the feature of a parade on Sunday morning, September 20th, here on Main Street in Jackson, with the rest of the afternoon filled with living history activities and gunfights and music and Days of 49 celebration. So we're really happy to have the museum, which is really a centerpiece of Amador County history, and Jackson being the county seat, so many of the landmark events happened here in Jackson, and the museum is there then the museum will be open during Sunday of Days of 49, and we have a shuttle running for parking that will also run up to the museum. So if you haven't been to the museum since it's reopened, or maybe never, God forbid, never having been to the museum, this would be a great day to go to the museum. Spend an hour or so walking around. And
we try to do as much publicity as we can, but the museum was closed for a number of years because of earthquake issues. But now it's been reopened, and again, it's open Thursday through Sunday. And as you mentioned, the bus tour will stop up there. It's also going to stop at City Hall. We have for those of you who aren't familiar, there are 10 murals that were done back in 2000 that represent the history of downtown Jackson. I'll happen to be there that Sunday afternoon giving guided tours of those murals and that particular project, so don't forget to put that on your list. Pat, you've done a project on Main Street identifying particular buildings too.
Well, we kind of facilitated, the late Larry Sonato identified 21 historic buildings for what different reasons, whether it was the first saloon in town or it had an architectural feature, and then we got the money and some grants to put brass plaques on those buildings, and we have walking tour brochures on one at the old firehouse and one by the old Westerner National Hotel, where it gives you a walking writing and the explanation of all the buildings, and
And
that was a fun project. That was,
Yeah.
as long as I've lived here, there was stuff I didn't.
One of the
I
Gallo
didn't-
brothers.
Yeah, was
Wine
born in the
born.
Webb building, yeah.
Right. There's a couple of buildings where Wells Fargo stage stops, and there's lots of fun information.
Well, I know that, and if you can find that, as you mentioned, at two different locations on each end of Main Street, the walking tour, but you can also download the walking tour off of the city's website.
And the city website walking tour has many more buildings than just the 21 on Main Street.
Right.
And it addresses the cemeteries, of which we have several different denominations here in Jackson, and that's a multi-page document, but it's got even, if you're a history buff, it's got even more about Amador County's beginnings there.
Yeah, and on those murals in City Hall, you and I spent a lot of time at City Hall. I see something new in one of them almost every time. And if you go, be sure to take the time to look at the pictures that are underneath, that are pictures of the city over the years that kind of go with the murals with a
photographs that
little
go, yeah.
explanation.
Uh-huh.
Those are really cool.
Yeah, there's about 50 photographs with
7x9 or something.
right
Yeah.
that are ring the inside of City Hall, and there's a walking tour brochure for that as well.
Okay.
There's a brochure that's inside the City Hall that describes each of the photographs in greater detail and gives the artist's concept of what the mural is as well in greater detail. So,
And I have to say, on you, and thank you so much to Keith for two projects that are, history related that have really been transformed in the last few years, and that is the Tailing Wheels Park, the new Tailing Wheels Park, which not only has a protective barn around one of the big wheels that with the glass side or the
Right.
acrylic side so you can see through, but also has completely refurbished information so that you can really see how the tails operated and the way they interacted with the mine. And then Vista Point on the highway. If you haven't stopped at Vista Point recently and seen all the new signage and how, when you're looking out over the vista, what it is that you're looking at. And those are both really
And the
nice
dog
additions.
and the dog park.
And the dog park.
Everybody forgets about the dog
No,
park.
Well, the dog park is at the Kennedy Tailing Wheels
Well, that-
Park, but
yeah.
everybody forgets about it. And even with as little publicity as that dog park has gotten, it still gets a lot of use.
I know it does, yeah.
You bet. At the Kennedy Tailing Wheels Park tomorrow,
There we go.
the Kit Carson Mountain Men are having an ice cream social. It's the early kickoff for Days of 49, and they're going to open up the hut and sweep it, I understand. There's going to be some cleaning going on, and you can see what it is that they keep in that Mountain Man hut. And also have an ice cream sundae if you like. Ice cream sundaes are $4, but it's cheap. It's free to go. Bring your kids to come meet the Mountain Men and see the Mountain Man hut from 5 to 7 tomorrow. That's Thursday. What is tomorrow? The September 3rd.
Yep.
Thursday the 3rd.
I'll bet there's hundreds, if not thousands, of people who have driven out North Main, Jackson Gate Road, who've driven by the parking lot for Kennedy Tailing Wheels Park, who've seen that cabin there and thought it's probably a storage unit for some city project
or the
whatever,
lawnmowers or
for
storage,
lawnmowers or whatever. But it is really interesting inside. Now, when we had the grand opening of the Kennedy Tailing Wheels Park, the Mountain Men were gracious enough to open the doors and allowed you to stick your head in a little bit. So I have a sense of knowing what it is inside there, and they've got a lot of artifacts that represent,
People may not know, but our Kit Carson Mountain Men, Ronald Reagan was an honorary Kit Carson Mountain Man.
Really?
And I believe John Wayne was
Yep.
as well. And other
Lord
movie
Bond,
stars.
too, I think, yeah.
Other movie types. And they were famous enough that the Queen Elizabeth, Queen of England, requested to meet Kit Carson Mountain Men when she came to California and visited Sutter's Fort. So the Mountain Men led her detachment into Sutter's Fort. So they are an interesting group with an interesting history as well.
Well, that particular park, Vista Point, are locations that if people stop there, they get a real sense of the history of Jackson and of Amador County. And besides, the map up at Vista Point gives them a sense of what the whole county kind of looks like and where they can go to. We've got a project coming up I do want to mention, a mural project for right at Highway 49 and 88 at the quick serve gas station there. There's that ugly concrete wall, big wall, and
It is holding up the hill, though.
it is
We're
holding up
happy
the
it's
hill.
there.
It has a reason for being there. But we've got a project going now where we're asking local artists to submit designs, and we're going to be raising some money, and the city's going to kick in some money from their tourist funds to put another mural, an outside mural up there that will, again, amplify or exemplify what this county is about and from a historical perspective. We're going to wrap up here fairly soon. These segments go by so quick.
I know, they do.
Yeah, you told me last night, you think we talked for 12 minutes? Well, I don't think that's going to be a problem.
Well, let's just say that for Days of 49, and actually for all of the attractions in Jackson, you can go to visitjacksonca.com. That's JBCA's website, and we have all of the schedule for Days of 49, plus information about the walking tours, links to all the attractions and the various sites, and a little map. If you're not quite sure where Vista Point is or Kennedy Tailing Wheels Park, it's all there on visitjacksonca.com.
Are the melodrama ladies coming back?
The melodrama ladies are coming with Burning Brothel and a Pioneer Wedding as well.
Okay.
Sunday, September 20th.
Thank you very much for being here, and thank you for watching Amador Live. Appreciate you being here.